Yeah, I was, it's like through my life, it's like I was actually engaged 3 times and married once. I got married to a man named Herb Fishberg, and I'm going to do some, you know, some, talk about, do some talking about Herb. I managed to find, it's like you're always looking for pictures and stuff, when you need them. And it's like I did find at least one picture. I know I have multiple pictures, but that's Herb. That's actually in our dining room in Gardena. That's me kind of holding my face. I guess I didn't want my picture taken. And that was probably, I don't know, 1988, 89, somewhere in there. And we still have that table, but it's in the kitchen now. But that's Herb. And it looks like we're doing something. We may have been doing something for either our wedding, or I may have been helping him for at his work. It's like he had a dating service, so it's like doing the paperwork. So one of the things I remember, it's like before I met him, when I met him, he introduced me to a lot of like ethnic type foods. So it's like before I was with him, I didn't I didn't have I don't think I ever ate like Thai food or Indian food and stuff, And when I started going out with him, he would come and pick me up in Gardena, and then because he lived out in the valley, and then we'd go to some place somewhere in LA, and we'd go to these really neat restaurants and stuff, And it's like, so he introduced me to a lot of like really great ethnic type foods and stuff. So it's like that, and it's like. So basically, it's like what happened was, it's like I'm gonna back up a little bit about we got married. We met. It's like we met sometime early in 1980 at Yes Network. Something called Young Executive Singles. It's like we go. If you're single, you can go to it. It was mostly people like in their 30s. Most of the people that went. There were some people in their 20s and 40s that went, but it's like it was for the most part it was people like around in their 30s and stuff looking for a mate. So anyway, and it's like fortunately, it's like they had that. It's like it was a good way to meet people in person. So anyway, that's how we met, and we started dating. And he let's see what else. Uh, One of the things is like we went to the theater a lot. He also introduced me. It's like not that I never went. It's just that we went and did things. That we went to movies. A lot of like yeah, I was already I think into like independent films and stuff like that, but and movies. But we went quite often to movies and stuff, and independent movies. He was really always good about giving me personal romantic gifts. It's like I remember one of the things he got me was not that it was romantic, but it was like he got this beautiful black leather jacket, which I don't know what happened to it. It may be in a box somewhere, but I'm not sure what happened to it. I may have given it away years ago. Um, Also, going back to the theater thing, when I used to go to movie theaters, it's like I would, sit somewhere in the middle or something like that. Well, he got me into the habit. It's like he liked to sit in like the third or fourth row in the middle, and so he felt like it was like an experience. Like it's like so the movie would like surround you and stuff. So once I started doing that, it's like I still do that to this day. I don't sit really close to the screen. I usually sit around the fifth row and try and get in the middle, but I like to be closer to the screen than I used to. Where in the past I'd be in the middle, sometimes I'd be in the back, but it's like he got me into that habit, and it's like it was a good thing. I really it's like that was valuable. So when I was with Herb, I also started collecting. I got into the hobby of collecting antiquarian books and so on. It's like I don't have one here right here. Maybe I'll talk about that more later on a different thing. But I have a big book collection. I still have a big book collection. Um, we went to musicals. His favorite musical. He was really into Broadway. He loved Broadway when but he lived in New York, and he fell in love with Broadway when he was kid. He's actually from Philadelphia, but he fell in love with Broadway, and I think the first was Annie Get Your Gun. I think that's the name of it. That was his first one, and he just fell in love with Broadway musicals at that time. And when we were together, we went to a number of them, and some of them were oddball, some were, and he actually didn't care if they were really good or bad, he just liked going to musicals. So, but we went to Les Mis, and I think we saw Les Mis at least twice, and we got really good seats both times. It's like, because we just decided to wait. It's like it's got a long run, at the Pantages or something. And so what we would do is like we'd order tickets 6 months ahead of time so we could be like in the front row in the middle. So that's what we did, or the third row in the middle and stuff, so we could be like, that's always, it's like you always want a really good seat when you go to something live. But he ended up, he told me after, all these musicals and stuff that he went to, that he really that was his favorite. Les Miserables was his favorite musical of all time, and I would have to agree with that. It's a brilliant musical, Les Mis. So if you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing. Let's see. Like I said, he always brought me thoughtful presents. I'm trying to think of the other things besides the jacket. It'll come to me. Let's see. Okay, when we got married, because we didn't date unfortunately, we should have dated longer than we did when we got married. It's like it was too short of a courtship. We got, there were some rings that we ordered. They were Carrera rings, and they were, I can't find, it's like I haven't been able to find them. I'm sure I still have them. They're not in any of my jewelry boxes and stuff, but I'm sure I've still got them somewhere, unless somebody came in and took them, but I don't think so. It's like I just don't know where they're at. I haven't seen them in a long time. But anyway, we got Carrera rings. We had to order them, so we had to wait a while. But anyway, they were gold. They were 18 karat gold, and they were like hands that were like this. They were it was hands, and then in the middle there was amethyst. So, and I don't remember how much they were, but they weren't cheap, and what we did is, because we didn't have rings for the actual ceremony, we went to downtown LA and bought some inexpensive rings. They were like gold rings, yellow gold rings, and they were cheap, and they had like a couple little diamond specks in them. And it's like, and I'm not sure what happened to those either. It's like they've got to be around somewhere. It's like, so we would have something for our wedding. And I know, it's like I was going to mention about Dee Fragnoli in my other video. It's like Dee was also, because she was good for, she actually, we had a small ceremony, Herb and I, and it was really nice. It's like I had a nice, really beautiful dress that Sonia made, and it was, and I've got pictures of it. Actually, it's like I should talk about the wedding. It's like, but wedding in a different video, because I do have pictures of the wedding and stuff. So, okay. So I'm gonna write in the note, wedding photos. Okay. So, and then let's see. We went and saw another. I don't know that it was a musical or a play, but it was called Kvetch, and it was actually really good. It was really funny. It's like the acting was excellent in it, and that was in like Santa Monica. It's like some of these theaters we go to were just these little tiny theaters and stuff. So, and then of course Les Mis, I think that I'm gonna wind this up for right now, and I'll be doing at least a couple more on her, and especially the wedding photos and stuff, and the fact that Dee was actually signed. Was one of two people. My sister signed the certificate, the wedding certificate, and so did Dee Fragnoli.